So we have the hero of the Underworld versus one of the many primordial fears. Let's see who shall prosper.
Thank you to our $5 patrons Redwolf4765, Midnight Gemlord, and Sean. Thank you to our $3 members Recliner Plays and Redwolf4765, and a very big thank you to our $25 patron Alex Ice Rose.
Before we open this breakdown / live reaction to chapter 126 of Chainsaw Man, please remember to leave your own on the chapter in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit that little notification so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do a Patreon below, each one as low as $1 $1 places, videos, early content, and more. You can also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, let's hop into the live reaction. What's up, guys? I'll come to you, and here we are to do a live reaction to chapter 126 of Chainsaw Man, which is known as Food Fight. So let's not waste any more time, and let's hop right into it. Editing me, ready, 3, 2, 1, go. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I do, in fact, not have it on me at this particular point in time. I need to improvise. I'm currently not with my specific setup, so we shall denote worthiness by... There's gotta be something I can use to denote. Wait a second. I know exactly what I can use to denote worthiness. I will pierce myself with this, but nah, I'm kidding. Nah, but we have the pencil. If the pencil gets 3 pokes out, the chapter's worthy. If it doesn't, then the chapter's a fat out. So let's not waste any more time and let's hop right into it. Food fight. I'm not sure if I should be worried or excited. Like, half of me is excited because, like, obviously this is crazy, right? What? This is the first primal fear that Denji's interacted with, I'm pretty sure. Like, the horsemen don't count. They aren't primals. Darkness. I don't think. It's a fear of falling and a fear of loud noises. Those are the 2 primal fears that I know about. At least from the last review or the last live reaction. So I don't think he never fought a D of loud noises, I don't believe. So this is his first interaction with a primal. And presumably, like, seemingly enough, the falling D is a little bit strange, I'd say. Like, the fact that they're a chef is so interesting. Like, I wonder if it's literally just because they're so powerful that, like, just ruling over the underworld holds no interest to them. They're like, like, I could literally solo the verse right now. Like, if I'm being real with you, I'm not even really into that. I'm just gonna cook. Like, they're serving underworld creatures. They're presumably serving other Ds these meals. Like, they're whipping it up in the kitchen like that. But, like, but why though? like if you're that primordially powerful, why become a chef unless you're just interested in it? Like, Diz woke up one day and said, you know what? I could dominate all of creation. Or I could whip it up in the kitchen. Like, I'm presuming it's just that. Because, and especially based on what happened last chapter. And look what's even happening here. Jeez! God, like, I didn't even look. But, like, as you can tell, she's obviously extremely powerful. Like, her head didn't even go anywhere. Like, straight up, Denji tore straight through it. And she got her top split off. And not the next panel, it's already healed. Like, the amount of raw ability that this creature has is unfathomable. And yet they're a chef. And, like, to be fair, you gamble everything whenever you go to, like, any sort of restaurant, because you're trusting that the food being prepared for you is not, like, poisoned, or not poison's bad, but, like, washed properly, all that. Like, every time you eat out, it's kind of a risk. Heck, every time you eat, it's kind of a risk, just because you never know. The human body can develop, like, allergies like that. Like, I know people who for their entire lives were not allergic to bees, but then they got stung one time, and bada bing bada boom, they nearly went into anaphylactic shock. So, like, the body can change at complete random, so you are automatically taking a risk. So I guess maybe that's the fun of it. Like, the falling D is like, yeah, I could just be a risk to all of humanity and all of the underworld, but it would be funnier if I was a risk because I whipped up their meals. like I wonder, is there a cooking D? Like, how afraid are people of cooking? Would that be lower or higher than Clucky on the fear scale in terms of, because everything has to have a fear, right? Like if chickens, but then again, I know I forget what the exact name of it, and I don't have the Googler on me, so I can't Google it. But I know for a fact there is a fear of chickens. There is a phobia specifically for chickens. But like cooking, a fear of cooking, never heard of that. A fear of breathing, never heard of that. But presumably, considering every single thing, like we've had weird D's in the past, so presumably every single thing in like human consciousness has a specific fear, or at least would have a D that corresponds to that specific fear. So I'm wondering, like, what are the limits, and how do they manifest? Because I'll admit, I think the falling D is the only one that's manifested in this, like, well, and the future D. The future D was also pretty weird, but I think this falling D is the only one that manifests in like in a slightly abstract way. Not even slightly, a very abstract way. Like looking at the falling D's design, if you were to just go up to a random person and say, hey, this thing represents a fear of humanity, which one would you think it is? I don't think falling would come to mind. Like, sure, if you showed them their abilities, yeah, but like just the design itself has nothing to do when it comes to like falling, at least in my opinion. Maybe I'm just missing something about the design. Like, yeah, I have no idea how this alludes to. If y'all can tell me that what I'm missing, I greatly appreciate it. But I don't have no clue how this could even remotely imply. Whoop. I don't know. Just, it's up in the air to me. But regardless, it's still absolutely bonkers. Just with a straight kick too. And like, to be fair, we do know for a fact that despite being the hero of the underworld, despite like the darkness despite the darkness D itself being like, hey yo, run me his heart right now. Come on, give it to me. Like, despite that being the case, like, Chainsaw Man really was, I feel like, low high tier. If we're gonna do like Underworld Scaling, like a low high tier, like a high enough that it was able to like counteract and drastically weaken the Horsemen, and high enough that at its peak of power was considered once again the hero of the underworld. But like what is this scaling? I kind of do want to learn more about the underworld hierarchy, because we know of it, and we can take guesses at what would be at like the pinnacle. Like obviously darkness, night, D, or you know, the ceasing of life. Like those obviously are going to be extremely powerful. But like the Horsemen, I suppose war, conflict would be pretty high. That makes sense. Famine, yeah, that also makes sense. Like, does famine cover like dehydration? Like, is there a dehydration D? How powerful are that? Like, I don't know. The whole way that the Chainsaw Man world functions is very interesting to me. It's almost like a next step from JJK's curses. Like, JJK's curses are like conceptual in nature. They also are like based around fears and worries of other things. Like, one of the main villains literally is the manifestation of the fear humans have of each other, and like their hatred. Yeah. So but I feel like Chainsaw Man takes it to that extra next step to really put it to that next level. Like, whoa. Oh, we popping off. Oh, okay. So we're really getting specific. I like it a lot. And I love how Fujimoto gives these things, like these interesting designs and these interesting abilities. But let's see how the hero of the underworld scales to one of these, because this could either be massive in the favor of Chainsaw Man or massive against. But then again, I gotta realize, by pure technicality, Chainsaw Man is so much weaker than they were in their prime. So this is gonna be like, this will literally just be denji Chainsaw Man scaling. There's nothing you can necessarily do for Prime, because like, I think it's going to be kind of impossible to get Prime back. Like, there's no, unless obviously there's a second Chainsaw Man, the fake Chainsaw Man. Maybe there's something you could do along those lines, but I don't think you could ever get back to like top of the line hero of the underworld. This is the guy that like had every single underworld creature screaming and running in terror. Like, I don't think we're ever going to get that, because Makima's did too good of a job. Like, the long-lasting effects of the new popularity of Chainsaw Man and Denji's own desire to be popular has, well, probably leveled the fear of Chainsaw Man out. Like, straight up, people have more fear of it because it's more well-known. At the same time, the love for Chainsaw Man lowers the fear a whole lot more, I presume. But let's see. I'm talking so much and we're still on the first page. Let's see. You must be Chainsaw Man. I won't slay any more humans. There's no need for us to fight. My final task is to drop Asa Mitaka into the underworld, and then I'll take my leave. Interesting. So already there's something interesting about that. You must be Chainsaw Man. I mean, maybe the reason that the FD is saying that is specifically because they don't recognize what Chainsaw Man looks like now. Because, like, look at Pachita, and then look at Denji. Two entirely different creatures. So it's entirely possible that the FD has run into Chainsaw Man before. But, like, the phrasing of you must be Chainsaw Man instead of, like, you look different Chainsaw Man. Oh, what, is that a new appearance Chainsaw Man? I like the new swagger Chainsaw Man. Like, no, it's none of that. It's specifically you must be. Which means that it's highly likely that the Primals, at least, never ran into Chainsaw Man. And that would kind of fit into the idea that even a prime Chainsaw Man, as monstrous as they weren't running up on, like, super ancient fears. Like, it's straight up established that, the Darkness D and others of its caliber have never experienced the ceasing of life. Like, they've never had to be reincarnated. They're that ancient. They are that powerful. There's still so much fear of them that they've never had to do that. So, I guess it's entirely possible that the FD's in that territory. Once again, a primal fear. And considering that, like, their abilities fold in not just, like, the fear of general falling, like, literally physically falling, like, off a structure, or not even off a structure, just falling backwards or something like that. They appear to be, like, falling into sadness, despair, depression, like, they have a really wide scope, so it makes sense if, one, they never encountered Chainsaw Man, because Chainsaw Man was too busy fighting lower tier Ds. But on top of that, they were just so powerful that even if they did run into Chainsaw Man, it probably would be a joke. Like, if Chainsaw Man could run up on the Darkness D, which isn't even a primal fear of humanity, it's a taught one, then what is Chainsaw Man going to be able to do to this? And especially considering Chainsaw Man's so much weaker now, I think Denji's going to get... He's not gonna perish. Like, there's no way, not a single good way on this good green earth that Denji's gonna actually like that's not gonna happen. But I don't think he's not getting this dub here. And it's interesting that once again, just the disposition of the FD is so interesting to me. The idea that they're like, hey, chill out, Brody. I ain't even really here for you right now. I ain't really want no smoke. You can't beat me. You and I both know you can't beat me. This ain't even the time and place. Just let me do this one thing, and I'm gone. You won't even hear from me again. I just came here to chef it up real quick. You know, they ordered my services. I already got paid, dog. Like, I gotta cook this up. Like, I'm in the kitchen. I bought the food. It's sitting right there on the stove. I just need you to back off. I will not bother you or any of these other creatures. Chill. It's so interesting. Like, I don't know. It's a very interesting way to write a powerful primordial being. Like, usually, like, there are typically two ways in fiction that I see primordials being written. One is that they're just so ancient and powerful that they just don't interact. Like, they're pretty much abstract entities that are more thought than being, I suppose. Like, you know how... What's a good example from manga? I'm thinking, like, a bunch. Like, pretty much every Dark Souls or Souls-like boss, like, whether it be in Bloodborne or... Like, the great ones from Bloodborne are a great example. Like, that's an example of, like, they're just so ancient and eldritch that they kind of just exist. Like, yeah, they're there. You can somewhat interact with them and communicate with them, but, like, they aren't really there. They don't really have an opinion or an interaction on the lower plane as they would see it. Or they're like Gaia from the Percy Jackson series, where they're like this nigh on omnipotent, plotting, evil, massive creature that just plans to destroy the world as we know it. Like, it's one of two spectrums. They either don't care at all, and they barely are counting as characters, and or they're a really active antagonist. This middle ground where you have this primordial being that's kind of just like, Doug, I could fauterize you. Don't want to fauterize you. I could fauterize humanity. Don't want to fauterize humanity. Just let me do what I want to do and let me leave. That's so interesting. Like, how do I put this? Would you reason with an ant? Like, say let's just one day you were walking down the street, you accidentally, like, knocked over a crumb that an ant and was planning to take back to his colony, and then the ant pulled up on you and was like, I want smoke, give me smoke right now. And like, would you speak to it? Like, like if you say in this scenario you can magically understand ants. Like, you know that question you see everywhere of like, would you rather be omnilingual or would you rather speak to all animals? Let's say you took the all animals route. For some reason, I don't know why, omnilingualism would probably give you all animals too if they have languages. But like, let's say the ant runs up on you and wants all the smoke. Are you communicating with it or are you stepping on it? Think about it. Think about it. Like, are you really communicating with it or are you stepping on it? Are you trying to reason with the ant? Be like, bro, you don't want this. You don't want that's interesting. Personally, I mean, it may be different. I can understand. Like, if it tells me like, that crumb was gonna feed my family for weeks. That's why I could never take the, oh, I can communicate with all creatures on the planet thing. Because like, I would just feel so guilty. Like, can you imagine like a mosquito begging for its life? Like, it just wants to procreate before it goes, and like it needs to suck your blood in order to do that, and you're just sitting there like watching it do it, and you really want to hit it, but you can't. Like, that would be, like, oh, that'd be awful. But still, would you reason with an ant? If an ant, like, Samaro's quote, would you spare a cow if it begged for its life? Like legitimately, would you? Would you? I mean, I know there are people out there who would, and I give credit to those people. Vegans, amazing to me. But like, heck, even you, would you slay a plant if it could beg for its life? Would you eat it? If anything you needed to consume, or anything you needed to like continue existing, could beg for you not to consume it, beg for you not to utilize it, would you? Or would you prioritize your own existence first? It's a complicated question. And we see that and it's a question that we need to answer because we're people. We're living organisms that don't have a choice on whether or not. We don't eat, we perish. We don't drink, we perish. We don't breathe, we perish. But if the things that we need, water, food, air, if they could talk to us, if they could communicate somehow on some elemental from Disney type beat, like they could just communicate with us, then would you be able to do it? Would you be able to if it begged for its life? I don't know, but we see the FD's answer. It's willing to leave it be. It would communicate with the ant and leave the ant alone if the ant gave up. As long as the ant didn't get in its way. Presumably they're about to throw hands. But let's see. Still on the first page. I'm sorry. Did you say drop Asamitaka? Dude, did you say drop Asamitaka into the underworld? I'm sorry, I just love the idea that Denji has this like deep dude surfer bro voice. I don't know why, but it's just the kind of voice I picture for him. I have not watched the anime. I'm sorry, probably never will. But we'll see. That's right. And that's another nice distinction. It makes sense though. The D hybrid is what the FD described Asa as already. So they don't count as human anymore. At least not in the FD's eyes. From a pure scientific standpoint, Asa, despite being a human, isn't human anymore. For the fact that she is infused with Yoru. It's interesting. Just like Denji is far from human at this point, because he's infused with Pochita. Very interesting. But let's see. I was given a job to feed the residents of the... Given. There's so many interesting things. I'm not going to make a whole video about the FD. Like, if I want to get to this chapter, I need to stop talking about how interesting this is to me. But, like, I was given a job to feed the residents of the underworld. Asamitaka is the final course. Given? Who? Who gave you a job? Because, like, presumably, I would assume, once again, because it's the primal. It's the primal fear. Like, once again, I don't know. Maybe the Google search I did was wrong. But humans are innately born with two fears. The fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. Every other fear is learned. It's why, you know, like babies, if you've ever been around something. Like, I have a huge family. A whole bunch of pencil people I'm related to. And thusly, I've been around my fair share of baby cousins. And notably, they always look, usually to their parents, but sometimes even to like just older people. They look for reactions to certain scenarios. And they, being babies, you know, little sponges, they absorb everything. That's why, I'm assuming that's why a lot of my, some of my younger family members who grew up in more city-based environments have a fear of insects. because their family most likely reacted to insects poorly because they aren't as common there. But a lot of my family that's from more rural areas, babies couldn't care less about insects because they're everywhere. It's interesting. It's interesting about that. So the reason this is so intriguing to me is because the FD is a primal, right? Like that just is the case. And yet they were given a job. They didn't choose the job. They were given the job. Who gave them a job? Who could order them? Or who could make what would the FD get out of a contract? Like, maybe, like, part of me wants to blame it on the double D, the ceasing of life D, but that seems a little bit strange. Why would it want to execute one of its own siblings? You could hypothetically blame Nayuta, but what access does Nayuta have to the underworld? Like, unless she has the memories of Makima, which I don't think is implied, or else she would know that Denji, did what Denji did, and probably wouldn't be as a cool, vibing younger sister with him. I would presume, at least, if she heard about what happened to her previous incarnation. So, I highly doubt it's that. And at least Fami? But is Fami really gonna do that? Like, I don't think Fami would do that to Asa. Because, like, she obviously cares about her sister enough to be like, hey, yo, train, be strong enough to do this. Please be strong enough to take care of my baby sister for me. So I don't think it's Fami. So who would have made a contract with the FD, and what could they have offered the FD that the FD would actually go out of their way to do it when they're that powerful? Once again, it may just be a pleasure thing. Maybe the contract just no. Maybe it's just like someone just rung up the FD and was like, hey, yo, can you do me a favor and, like, chef up the whole underworld, like, feed everybody down there and make sure you get Asami Taka as the final? And the FD was just bored one day and was like, yeah, sure, why not? And the person on the other end was like, oh, what do you want for it? And the FD was like, I don't know, nothing. I'll take the commission. Like, legitimately. Maybe it's just that, but it seems so strange. Giving a job. Not chose a job, not elected a job, like, given. Maybe just the underworld collectively said, hey, yo, let her cook, and then bada bing bada boom, she's cooking. But interesting. Nothing you say makes sense. This is great though. Now I have an excuse to execute you. Keep your hands off my potential ex-girlfriend. Oh, I wonder how that would have developed. I really do wonder how that would have developed. I mean, presumably it's still going to happen, even with Nayuta's interference. I presume it's still going to happen, even with Denji be like, you come first, Nayuta. Like, I think something along the lines is going to force that to happen. But if it happened sooner, I wonder, especially considering, the whole Chainsaw Man thing and Yoru's main goal. Can he even do, like, thinking about it logistically, like, we know what Yoru's goal is, to get Denji, Chainsaw Man, to, puke up a lot of her friends, but, like, Can he even do that? Like, they were erased from existence. Like straight up, the concepts of some of them were just gone. Makima, a horseman seemingly much more ancient and powerful than Yoru is, was more than capable of still forgetting names consumed by Chainsaw Man. Like, really? Like, are they still, like, where are they in hammer space? Like, legitimately, I'm not sure if Asa's goal makes sense, or not Asa, if Yoru's goal is even, like, feasible, or they're just desperate at this point. I'm assuming they're just desperate. But let's say. Yeah, but Denji, I don't think this is the time, bro. Oh, dear. Like, look at this, bro. Look at this. A finger, dog. A finger. I know. I bet some of y'all wish that was you, huh? I bet some of y'all wish that was you, huh? You can't hide from me. I know your thoughts. I've seen it. I've seen you in the comment section. Every single one of you down in Trojan's individuals. I've seen it. I've seen it. You can't hide from me. You cannot hide from me. I've seen it. I've seen it. You cannot hide from me. But regardless, a finger. A finger. This thing was strong. Well, to be fair, that was Pashida. That wasn't necessarily Denji. But Denji himself, he ain't no joke. He ain't no slouch. He ain't no light work. Bro is pretty decently powerful even after the nerfs and even after being a hybrid rather than, the full-on D. And just casually one finger negged all the momentum and force he was lunging with. Like, the FD is different, dog. Like, the level of power that it's displaying here now is crazy. I really want to see it do more. Like, I hope it comes back. I don't think Denji's gonna beat it. I don't think he's gonna beat it. I think something external is going to happen to it, to where, like, oh, it's technically defeated or it's left, but it didn't lose. Same thing with what happened to the Darkness D in part 1, where, like, oh yeah, technically, by pure technicality, the Darkness D lost, but, like, it didn't really lose. Makima was able to do pretty decent damage to it, and Makima was able to survive it, but, like, no one technically beat Darkness. I think the same is going to happen with the FD here, but, ooh. You know, ironically enough, I never actually watched Adventure Time growing up, or ever, when I think about it. Like, by the time Adventure Time was coming out, I think it was like 20. But regardless, like, I never necessarily watched Adventure Time, but for some reason, a whole lot of it has been coming across my social media feeds, and I know now, like, one of the Lich's most iconic things is, like, fall, and then the people fall. So, it's interesting that there is that motif. I obviously don't think that, Fujimoto was taking that from the Lich, but it's not like this is even a unique thing. I'm pretty sure things like that predate the Lich, but that's the most, like, common associated thing, like, fall comes from the Lich. Especially I forget who voices the Lich, but they do a fantastic job with that line and everything that they do. There was some show I was watching that had Keith Michael Richardson, I do believe, and I knew his voice. Like, it was in my head, because I think I just watched an Amphibia retrospective, another show I didn't watch. I just be watching videos. Like, I hate to admit it, like, I be watching videos on shows or games I've never played. It's just that, oh, you have a cool voice, I've already hit subscribe, I might as well listen. And I heard him in that too. The wonderful, amazing voice actor. Sorry, I'm getting so off topic. Let's see. Fall. What is he gonna experience though? If I had to assume, like, what? It would have to be a specific memory. So if I had to take a shot at it, there are 2 memories that may come to mind. Presumably, right? I think, actually 3. The biggest one may be the memory he repressed for a majority of the previous series, which was his father. That may be what he flashes back to. Because we know Asa flashed back to a very significant moment where she posted a lot, but then again, she didn't flash back to her mom. She flashed back to the cat. So, but then again, he never necessarily had a pet that went anywhere. So I'm assuming there are 3 options. I think it's either going to be his dad, and the revelation of that. That's why Kushida kept telling him, hey, Denji, don't open that door, don't open that door. And the double entendre with the second moment, which may be power being got. That may be the other moment that comes to mind. Or the final major moment would be Aki in the Aki fight. I think that would be the Aki way. Like, legitimately, if we're talking about how it's done, that would be the Aki way. So I wouldn't be shocked if it's those, or even a combination of, like, all 3. Like, maybe, but then again, no. Also only had the flashback to the one moment. So I'm assuming, if I had to take a guess, it's probably going to be the dad, because the dad was such an important part for a majority of part 1. But let's see. I mean, technically, I did low-key get it right, though. I halfway. I said it was going to be the dad. But it's Power and Aki. Wow. But that is, you know the thing about that makes me happy, even though it makes me sad? Nothing of Makima brings him sadness. It's just the loss of his 2 friends. Not anyone who, like, here's a better way to put it. Not anyone who hurt him is a thing that's lingering on his heart and mind, that he gets affected by the fall. Persona 3 is another game I haven't played, but I've been watching a whole bunch of retrospectives and reviews on that. Great game. I need to sit down and play it one time. Didn't I know they re-released it. I know there was a whole ton of controversy around that, but I need to actually sit down and play the Persona games. Because I have 5. I do have 5 Royal. I could just pop that bad boy in. That's like a go. Yeah, but I need to like actually sit down and play one of those RPGs, because I beat Engage. I still have I haven't even opened Bravely Default 2, but like, so many good games are coming out. Spider-Man 2 is coming out. I want to play that. I only want to play that live because I like Spider-Man 1 so much. Spider-Man 2's coming out. Breath of the Wild just released its final trailer. I wish I didn't see anything from that. I was trying to avoid a whole bunch of Breath of the Wild 2 stuff. Tears of the Kingdom, obviously that's what its official name is. I still got that. Like, it's trailer stuff though. Like, I didn't look too hard into it. I want to play that. So many good games are dropping this year. If only Kingdom Hearts 4 was there. But regardless, let's see. What was I even talking about? I have no idea what led to that. I was talking about, oh yeah, just none of the people who hurt Denji are the ones that appear to cause the fall for him. Like, not his dad who hurt him and led to Denji getting rid of him in self-defense, and not Makima who introduced him to these two, introduced him to his friends that are causing him to fall. But Makima herself isn't a source of his sadness or anything like that. He does not regret what he did. He does not look back on that with like any sort of fondness that would cause him to fall. It's just the pain of losing his two closest friends. That's what causes him to fall. I like that. It still shows that that affects him. He has not gotten over that, which I think is good and realistic. Once again, it has not been that long since part 1. At most, it's been like a month, or not, at least a couple months at most. So it obviously makes sense that he would have gotten over it by this point. And I think it leads for an interesting route for him to go down. Like, hypothetically, we've already seen that, ironically enough, both Nayuta and Asa sort of fit a power-esque role, but I would say Nayuta definitely fits more within the power-esque role in terms of like characterization and stuff like that. So Asa could be his new Aki, which is bad. Like, obviously, well, if she turns against him, once again with the whole Yoru thing building up inside Asa, if we get another GD Fiend Aki situation with Asa and Yoru up against Denji, yeah, that'd be awful for Denji. But in terms of like filling the hole that's in his heart because of the loss of his two best friends, Asa could do that. Asa could do that. I think it'd be a rough state of affairs, don't get me wrong, but a state of affairs is better than not having a state of affairs at all. So who knows? Very interesting stuff. However, gone. He is floating off Visa, as they say these days. Let's see, that's that. Now, to follow Asa Mitaka's scent. Interesting. So once again, just showing off the casual flex. I take it back. Jeez. This does appear to be thumbnail material, ladies and gentlemen. Golly gee willikers. Bro wasted no time. Huh? When I fight D's that use mental attacks, I slice my brain as a rule. Ah, okay. I mean, when you can regenerate, like, I don't think I would ever have the wherewithal, like, hypothetically, right? Say I woke up tomorrow and had Wolverine-esque regeneration, or like Deadpool-esque regeneration, like literally some of the most top-of-the-line stuff in the verse. Say I drank a cup of iced tea, but secretly that iced tea was the fountain of youth from Seven Deadly Sins. I just had like infinite omni regeneration. I still don't think I would like willingly harm myself unless purposeful. Notably, I would do dumb stuff, right? Like skydiving without a parachute. If I was generally immortal, I'd try that. No reason why. I just would want to see what it feels like. Same thing with like fighting a grizzly bear, swimming with sharks. Like I would do a whole bunch of dumb stuff that I wouldn't do now with obviously a mortal body. But like the wherewithal to, while you're experiencing this, by the way, like bro's going through, or presumably if Asa's anything to go by, reliving the worst moments of his life, he still had the wherewithal just immediately his own brain. Like he still feels pain and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure. It's not like he doesn't have a functioning nervous system. He still feels all the damage he takes. That's the crazy that he has the wherewithal. Once again, it shows his experience. That's another good thing. Like he's been doing this for a while now. It's been his job for a while now. This is far from the first D he's experienced that did use mental attacks, so he knows he has a built-in counter for that, even though very violent and messy counter, but a counter nonetheless. Works out really, really well. Shouts to my boy Denji. He be cooking. He really be whipping it up in the kitchen like that. I respect it. Corn dogs. I want to eat corn dogs from France. Do they have corn dogs? Do they have corn dogs in France? I don't actually know. I mean, there's no reason why they wouldn't, right? Like, it's not like, huh. It's just not necessarily, I mean, presumably his brain is undergoing extreme damage, so he's probably just, like, doing random word association. But, like, are there actually corn dogs in France? Let me know down below. Let's see. You foolish boy. Oh, she actually looks a little bit annoyed now. To be fair, this would be a bit annoying to deal with, but let's see. Only denji, bro. Only denji, bro. What? What? What in the world? He is Munchen Munchen. What? I mean, it's not his first one. It's not his first one. But wait. Wait. I mean, if he, it looks like he's actually succeeding in, like, is he gonna wipe out falling? Is he gonna erase that? No way, bro. Like, there's no way the FD's gonna lose like this, right? Like, there's no way they literally just get corn dogged. Like, there's no way, right? Like, we ain't, Fujimoto, you ain't actually, I don't buy it. I don't think he's actually gonna do it. But, like, huh. I mean, hypothetically, if he did succeed in actually consuming all of her, that would wipe out Fallen. They would just erase the concept. So what would happen if you fell? Like, notably, everything that Chainsaw Man has erased before was, like, uncommon phenomena, I'd say. Like, he erased things that I'm not going to say because they are bad. But, like, remember what he erased. Those were things that, like, happened in the past or had, like, ramifications, but they weren't, like, consistent. Like, I can fall right now. Like, I can just fall to the left, bada bing, bada boom. But, like, if falling doesn't exist, what is this? Like, what is me going this way without any sort of control? Like, can you fall? Do people just... That's so... I wonder what would happen if this actually succeeded. I don't think it's going to succeed. Once again, the FD should be way more powerful than Denji, but who knows? He is munching. He do be chewing, though. He do be chewing, though. And do be yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy in his tummy. Sweet mother of mercy, bruh. Sweet mother... Did she what? Thank you for the 5-star experience. If you'll excuse me, it's time I return to my cooking. What in the world? So wait. So she let herself... Oh, perhaps you're right, though. A chef ought to experience being eaten at least once. No? Don't eat your chefs, ladies and gentlemen. But I suppose, once again, if you're a primordial being, you just be doing stuff. You just be doing goofy things. Like, I was, like, talking about it in the Keyblade versus Omnitrix video. Like, hypothetically, if I really did have the Kai Blade, I don't think I would ever become malignant. I would just become goofy. Like, literally, like straight up goofy. Like, I don't think I would ever do anything, like, crazy bad. Even with that much power, I would just be an idiot. A very risky idiot, yes, but an idiot. and that's low-key, maybe not even an idiot, but just massively indifferent. That seems, like, I wouldn't say the FD is an idiot for wanting to experience being consumed at least once, because they have no fear of that. It's not like it's going to work, as we can see here. Like, she stood up through him. You're telling me you can regenerate your clothes, but you can't build yourself a neck? Really? But still, like, she just regenerates through him. So that kind of level of power would probably lead to, like, a cataclysmic indifference. Like, yeah, okay, sure, do your best. Take your best shot. Very interesting. Bro is rotten. Hey, yep. Yikes. Okay, hand through. Wow. That is crazy. Once again, just showing this casual power. I detest ugliness. Wow. Oh, bro is done. He ain't moving no more. And you can fly? Since when could you fly? Let's see. Get back here. Should be that. Who is that? Who is this? Who is this? Ooh? Dripping the good stuff? A knife. Like a knife. Who wields a katana? It's gotta be Yoshida, right? It's gotta be Yoshida. I would assume. That has to be Yoshida, right? And only a few drops? I still need you to fight, Chainsaw Man. Who is this? I don't think it's Fami. I don't think it's Fami. It's not Asa either, because we see her right here. Huh. Interesting. I have no speculation on that. It could be the student council president guy or the DHC president dude. It could be him. It could be Yoshida, I suppose. It would explain why only a few drops of blood would get the engine revving all over again. But I don't know. It's interesting. But the FD has flown straight to Asa. It found us? I found you. Okay, overall, W chapter. You may have forgotten the criteria, but... Oop. 1, 2. It's not worth it. 3. W chapter. Overall, I do like the chapter, mainly for, like, an interaction, a solid interaction, and, like, definitive scaling of the hero of the underworld versus the primordials. Like, that's nice to see. The primordial is just above, like straight up above anything that Chainsaw Man has to offer. It makes sense. It fits within lore, all of that. 2, I really like this interesting characterization for the FD, just further building on the idea that they are like so powerful that they're basically indifferent. The massive speculation that comes around that, I like that a lot. 3, I love the character implications that this has for Denji and stuff like that, seeing him fall and what it means for him and how the loss of his friends has still affected him to this way, but at the same time, he still has the wherewithal and the willingness to fight back against the madness and sadness that resides within his heart. I love that. That's really good. And once again, just the PD going crazy. Like, that is absolutely insane. Obviously, there's a mystery here. That's neat too. Like, it's crazy enough that it's not my favorite part of the chapter, but I don't know, like, mystery as vague as this doesn't necessarily do much for me. But with that being the case, we got it on the way. We got another battle, another brawl coming up, and I'm excited to see it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave your own thoughts on the chapter in the comment section down below. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure the notifications don't miss out on any videos I come on the channel. Also, I do a page down below. Each one result as one kind of month. Now, exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as well as 3 hours a month to get the same perks and more. Now, thank you so much for watching once again, and hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Dog with a Pencil, writing off.